Hi everyone, it's Andy and Joel on the Stay Hungry podcast, and today we're talking features and benefits of the director's cut. Oof, Andy, not going to get over that new theme tune anytime soon.
Awesome music, well done, Joel.
Oh, rule number one on podcasts, don't have a piece of paper that rustles. Who's Russell, I hear you ask? So,
there's a joke about that.
Yeah.
Probably can't say it though. Yeah, definitely won't say it. We had to stop recording last time. I thought, should we take the joke or not? And I did, and Joel was like, no, I can't say that.
What do you call a man with a spade in his head?
Doug.
What do you call a man without a spade in his head?
Don't know.
Douglas.
Yeah, that's given me time to think about it. Yeah, definitely shouldn't say that. So, features and benefits of the director's cut.
Not Douglas. That's tickled me, especially because I got you with it.
Yeah, I had to humour him. I think that joke was first invented in like 1780 something.
Martha just accused me of being flat. She's wrong. I'm on it.
What do you call a man with a little penis?
Joel.
Justin. Oh, right. This is I thought we should be doing this properly now with like proper recording. We've been doing that for ages, but like proper notes and preparation and everything.
What do you call a believable man with a little penis?
I don't know.
Just incredible.
Well, I think we've lost all our podcast listeners.
We've lost all our credibility.
I thought we were tuning into a marketing podcast. What the fuck are these two?
Pair of idiots.
Two would-be comedians.
So we're going to be talking about the PASS framework, Andy, which is probably why we had to get the penis jokes in first, because It sounds boring, but it's not.
It's crucial to marketing copywriting.
So PASS is problem, agitate, solve. And the PASS framework, the reason for it is if you sell something that everybody else sells, or if people don't realise that what you're selling is a solution, you use the PASS framework to educate them. So by that I mean Shreddies keeps hunger locked up till lunch. They've identified the problem, hunger. They've agitated the problem. You need to keep hunger at bay until lunchtime, and the solution is it keeps hunger locked up till lunch. And that now I've told you that, there won't be a marketing campaign you'll see that doesn't use the PASS framework.
I thought you were talking about the other Shreddies then. I thought, well, what's this got to do with farting? But
I don't know what you're talking about.
Shreddies.
Yeah.
Shreddies, the underpants with the charcoal liner so you can fart and the smell allegedly.
I have never heard of that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it must be a brand.
Are you being retargeted by that on Instagram?
No, but I tell you,
Can your Alexa hear you farting?
Right, every time Emma and I are watching stuff on Sky, and obviously there's Sky Ad Smart now, these ads are supposed to be targeted, I get served ads for erectile dysfunction.
Makes sense.
It's bothering me now. Even at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, get home early. It's like, why am I seeing this ad again?
Not Justin.
You're going to tell everyone my joke now, aren't you?
You're going to tell everyone my Douglas joke, which was far more palatable. So,
right, a problem, agitate, solve.
yes. So
Why do most people not get this then?
Well, because everyone's so keen to talk about their features or benefits. So land on easy one. Google solicitor or accountant in your area. Go on their homepage, and I guarantee you somewhere on that homepage there's a list of bullet points of the benefit of working with that solicitor or accountant.
I would say you're being very generous. I would say half of them
wouldn't even do that.
The benefits, they would do the features. We've been established since 1880.
We
have 10 offices across the UK. So fucking what?
We're a chartered accountancy firm.
Oh, are you? Here, can you look after my books then? Yeah, it's not the best sell, is it really? So I'd say probably half wouldn't even do the benefits.
Yeah, just features. So features being reeling off the thing that you do, which probably loads of other people also do. Benefits, less people will be able to achieve those benefits because they might not be as good at it as you are. But solutions, very few people actually talk about.
So there's 3 stages really. I say like amateur level is this is what we do, the features. middle level, this is what's in it for you. And that's very important because all the reader is thinking is, what's in it for me?
Yep.
So this is the benefit of using our service or product. But then very, very few people go to like the premium level, stage 3, which is the pain stacking as this is how we're going to make your life better, easier, lovelier. And a key principle that not many business owners realise is that people would rather avoid pain than seek pleasure. Mm-hmm. And that underpins this podcast.
Yeah, so
that's got to be understood.
We've talked about that on lots of podcasts. So it's quite a difficult one for business owners to get their head around, because usually business owners are the type of person that seeks pleasure at the expense of pain. So they don't necessarily fall into this category. So someone like you or I, we've got our goals or our promises, as we've discussed before, and we are willing to fail over and over again until we get there. There's an element of pain that you or I would be willing to go through. The person on the street isn't like that, which is why not everybody runs their own business. So they have a job because the idea of running a business to them sounds like hell on earth. They're avoiding that pain. They might not like their job, but it would be worse to try and do it themselves. Or they never catch the bus because the idea of getting on the bus is hell on earth, so they always get a cab. They're the examples we're talking about, where someone...
What about Emily?
She just won't be seen with the great unwashed.
Last time she got on the bus, probably at school.
Probably with us when we've made her. Oh, that was the tube. But to be fair, I feel like that. I hate the tube. So...
Well, you spent years on the tube. I remember how exciting it was at first. Soon wore off.
Sweaty summers on the tube.
Oh, God. In a suit, in like 40 degrees in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
And obviously, given my lack of height, usually stuck next to someone's armpit.
So, let's say you run a taxi app. Sick of always getting on the sweaty tube, and worse still, you haven't got a shower at your office. Our taxi will pick you up from your front door, get you to the office in our beautifully air-conditioned cabin.
Pain, agitate, solve.
Problem, agitate, solve. Pain, agitate, solve. Andy giving our secrets away.
I was thinking about massage of all things really. Like most, say, massage therapists. Actually, we seem to do a lot of work with massage therapists. Talk about basically, it will make you feel good, and that's lovely. But very few will talk about, do you realise what it's like to have a bad back? And that a lot of the time it can be prevented by having regular massage, especially if you do sports, and looking at the pain, the problem, rather than purely the pleasure. And maybe it's because people don't like talking about pain; they don't like talking about horrible stuff. But if people want to, like I say, if people would rather avoid pain than seek pleasure, it's to be honest, it's a brilliant commercial thing.
Yeah. So you can do the opposite. You can do. Want to win a car, and better still, the chances are high, enter the draw. Nowhere near as effective. Whereas if you say, sick of driving around in that old banger, and worse still, it's not going to pass its MOT, win a new car today, click here. Far more impact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same campaign, completely different.
Absolutely. It's strange. Maybe now, for people who didn't know, it's like, shit, that sounds so obvious. Because no one really wants pain in their life. And then, of course, when it does happen, then they truly understand it. But even if you're supposed, maybe selling a product that hasn't been invented, I don't know, like when the iPad came along, I remember, or AirPods as well. Well, who the bloody hell needs them? That's ridiculous. But Apple just masters in basically showing how empty your life is
without
these things.
Yeah.
So now you see any self-respecting teenager that's got wires on their headphones, just doesn't happen.
Jesus, you must be an idiot.
Yeah, like my AirPods, I hardly see them now. Holly keeps nicking them.
See, and then you meet an audiophile like me, and I talk about, well, it's got to be wired because the sound quality won't be as good if it's not.
Yeah, so I'm yeah. You like noise cancelling and stuff, don't you? I don't.
I'm just a geek. I'm a bad customer.
Yeah, as long as you don't go cycling with headphones, then you need to get
I need some bone. Yeah, I'll just go without at the moment. I don't know how to do it because once you get past 20 minutes, it's pretty boring.
Yeah, get the bone connect. There's Aeropex or Aftershocks or something.
Aftershocks, yeah.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah.
Safety first, kids.
Such a cool podcast. So, why do people? I guess it goes back to look at the animal kingdom, look at cavemen. Everybody's
Cave people.
Cave. Well, yeah. No, don't. Yeah, that's throwing me. But it's all about survival. Everybody is pre-programmed to survive, and survival is about not dying. Survival
Fight or flight.
Yeah, so there's very few animals in the animal kingdom that do things for gratification. Humans are one of the few. And even so, our avoidance of pain is far higher programmed in us than our chase for glory. So like anxiety works like that. Anxiety is all about pessimistically thinking of all the things that could possibly go wrong. And an optimist thinks of the few things that might go right. And chances are your marketing's far better targeting the pessimist than it is the optimist.
Absolutely. And to be honest, well, I pretty much guarantee if you look at all your competitors, they will all be talking about features, maybe talking about benefits. Hardly any of them will be talking about agitating that problem and then solving that problem.
Yeah.
And that's almost a good enough reason to do it on its own. I mean, first and foremost, yes, it's more effective. It will work better for you in terms of psychologically resonating with people, more likely to buy off you. But also, if none of your competitors or hardly any of your competitors are doing, straight away you're going to stand out a mile.
Yeah, and the very best people at doing this are the ones that can say that they've been through it themselves. So,
good point, yeah.
So, an example might be, I had severe heart problems, so I changed to a high fiber diet, and now I'm okay. So, struggling with irregular heart rhythm, have you considered changing your diet? Worse still, you're starting to get pain in your right arm. By changing to our high fiber diet, your chance of heart disease developing into something serious is reduced by 50%. And that kind of, I changed to this diet and it helped me and therefore it can help you, is something that, for whatever reason, loads of companies are set up because the person has gone through a problem that they've then solved, but they forget to tell that story.
I tell you, people who can do this very well. I'm thinking about a lot of the will writers I've met out networking.
Is that Caitlin coming in through the door?
It is. And I think about two will writers in particular. They are brilliant at pain stacking because they're not like will writers just stand up and say, we write wills. If you want to protect your family, call me on, blah, blah, blah. They talk about, do you know what can happen if? And that if word, it's such a little word, but such a massive impact. If you remarry and you haven't got a will, if you die, your children could go without because they'll go to your partner's children. All these horror scenarios that no one, let's face it, no one wants to think they're going to die. They want to think they live forever. But saying, shit, well, Christ, I don't want that to happen to me. And will writers, I can't think of many.
I was going to say, financial advisors are bloody good at that. You need to insure everything.
Yeah, if you're in those kind of industries and you're not pain stacking, then you're missing.
What if the sky falls in? What if? And on it goes. If statements. What if statements? There.
And then I mean, things like you talked about people who've gone through it. To have case studies of people like, well, this happened to me.
Yeah.
Or thank God I did, because if anything had happened to me, my kids would have lost everything. Wow.
Yeah, and you meet those people, don't you? You meet the people who they go on holiday and their holiday insurance takes up their suitcase because they've insured every eventuality. Now that's an extreme example of someone who has thought about every what if scenario. But if you could think about the what if scenarios that are genuine, the ones that, what if you passed away without a will? That's a very, very genuine what if. Or what if the end of the school day comes and you're not able to pick your kids up? Or what if you were ill for a month and unable to pay your bills, all the real ones, suddenly you start to come up with if statements that resonate with the masses, and then you're onto a powerful thing. Obviously, what if you go on holiday and the pool towels turn out to be blue rather than yellow? Not going to necessarily resonate, although there will be some people covered for that eventuality. It's that whole, what if you're out cycling and you get a puncture? Immediately you've targeted cyclists and people who cycle enough that a puncture would be a problem.
Can you imagine, the pain of changing a tyre? It's pouring down the rain in the middle of winter, because I have been there, and it's a right bloody ball ache. And there's so many pain points in most businesses, I think.
Yeah.
But so little idea. So you compare that with the fact that I've got 10 offices across the UK. No one gives a shit. They don't care about your other offices. They don't care that if you've been established as 1880, okay, great. That can be reframed into we've got decades of experience to help you do X, Y, Z.
Centuries of experience.
Well, even better. You should copyright for a living. Yeah. And there's always, no matter what your industry, there will be problems, pain that people are feeling or could feel if they didn't come to you.
Yeah, definitely. And that, simple ones. If you run a car repair garage, what if you break down whilst driving the kids on holiday? And worse still, it's boiling hot and the aircon's not working. Get your car regularly serviced at Bob's Garage.
So this could work really well if maybe you charge more than a lot of your competitors, because then you've got all these sort of rocks you can throw about the dangers of what can happen if you go cheap. So a garage, it could be, okay, you save a few pounds because they use cheap parts, but those parts are much more, are 58% more likely to break down, leaving you stranded somewhere, leaving your partner stranded on the motorway.
And that's a smart way of doing it as well. So there's two elements there. One, everybody has been...
on my head, that was.
Nearly everybody's been at that point in their lives where they go to their mate's garage to get their car MOT'd, because we all know it's more likely to pass if you go to your mate's garage than if you take it to the main dealer. So maybe it shouldn't have passed. Something might go wrong with it. The other bit that you said then is, what if your partner? And that's a smart way to play on the problem. So if you identify a problem that could happen to both members of a relationship, talk about the other person, because children's even better, pets again, even better. But let's say it's my wife. If you say, what would happen if your wife was driving home and the car conked out, and worse still, it was dark and she didn't know where she was? That would resonate far more with me than what would happen if you were driving home and worse still, the car, because I'm cocky enough to think, well, I'd just get out, fix the puncture, change the wheel, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't have a bloody clue. But there's you can be really smart with this system and this framework. But again, as we talked about on other podcasts, don't prey on vulnerable people. That's where you're setting yourself up for a fall. Like, I bloody hate ambulance chases. If you're an insurance company that only goes after people who've been in car accidents, you've got to really think about whether you genuinely do care about the outcome of that incident, or if you're just doing it to make a quick buck. Don't prey on people who regularly get their car serviced by saying to them, do you know that most car services are actually bollocks, and worse still, your car's 60% more likely to burst into flames after a service than it would if it wasn't serviced at all. Call our repair garage. That's awful. But if you can identify real problems in real people's lives, like, what if you don't have power of attorney and your partner loses capacity, and worse still, nobody knows how to get access to their bank accounts? How are you going to care for that person? Visit us to arrange power of attorney. That's a real thing where you're really helping people. Yeah, you're making money out of it, but that's the nature of business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think maybe a lot of people, well, again, to come back, a lot of people don't talk about this because they don't know about it, but also people don't like talking about negative stuff. And if you can use it ethically in your business to give you an advantage, then that's what it's all about. It's a competitive marketplace out there. And again, especially if you've got people who are undercutting you or just basically cheaper than you, And don't get me wrong, if you're just charging super inflated prices, just being greedy, then that's for you to deal with. But if there are just cowboys in your marketplace who are just doing things on the cheap, but because of what you charge, you can give a better service and offer better solutions, then it's your job to make that clear in your marketing. It's not being
a cowboy or a shark.
yeah. And it's not being un-British to talk about what you do well, as long as it's framed right about, well, this is how we help people better than 99% of the other people out there.
Yeah. What did I see the other day, which was a terrible example of this? Oh, it was a toothpaste brand. I won't name the brand because I'll get in trouble. And it said the tagline they used was recommended by dentists or something for
Right.
And then the line they threw out was something like, most dentists use X toothpaste to protect their teeth. And in the very, very small print, and I've got a big telly, that's not a boast, I just can't say. In the very, very small print, it said
50 people
of a survey of 100 dentists, 33% said they used this toothpaste ahead of other leading brands. So I was like, 33 dentists out of the 10,000 there are in the UK.
Back in the day, we weren't allowed to sample less than I think it was 500 people. So I saw a shampoo ad the other day, and again in tiny writing, I think there was like 70 people surveyed. It's like, how the hell can you give a statistic about 9 out of 10 people? That sounds quite impressive. And then bottom, oh right, you only took the poll from 70 people.
9 out of 10 people that used Wash and Go could spell wash and go.
Wash and go. Why were we talking about shampoo at lunchtime?
We were talking about shit shampoo, I think.
Oh, were we? I was talking about Timotei and stuff. I didn't even know that was still going.
I think it was that it wasn't. I think Caitlin went all the way to Greece to get some, which is weird.
Oh God.
We'll get her on.
Well,
that.
I've reached a stage now where I've just bought my first hair thickening shampoo.
Caffeine shampoo.
Well, no, I was looking at because loads of the cyclists use it, and actually Alpecin, whatever they're called, who make caffeine shampoo. I think they're a German business. They've got their own cycling team. So I was thinking, I'll look into that. But then, of course, started Googling caffeine shampoos and stuff. And I found this one called James Brickles. Anyway, got onto GQ or Men's Health, and they were rated the top 10 men's hair thickening shampoos. And I went for another one, but I will see. But
You've got a very thick head of hair.
No, I haven't. And I'm going to also now how to get some hair colouring shampoo, because I took a photo of myself this morning on a run.
I've seen that photo.
I've gone totally grey.
Yeah.
That's probably stress, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, my dad didn't start getting grey. He was like in his 60s.
Oh, wait till you next see my brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Very grey.
But he's younger than you, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 30.
Holy shit.
I'm just keeping my hat on. My hair's far thinner than yours.
Terrible. Anyway, there was a guy at our school. He'd lost his hair by the end of sixth form.
Nev.
And some people were quite mean to him. And it's terrible now because he's got a really super successful job and an absolutely beautiful wife, so he had the last laugh.
Is it Nev?
No, it's not. It's happened to Nev, though.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Beautiful wife, very successful, bold.
By what age?
Done that twice in 2 podcasts now. He was bold at 20, I think.
Wow. Tell you, there's a great thing when Patrick Stewart was given the role of Jean-Luc Picard. Here we go, Star Trek story. And, loads of people were most fussed about the fact that he was bald. And in the big press conference, a journalist said about, in the 23rd century, you'd have thought that people would have found a cure for baldness. And Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, said, in the 23rd century, I'd like to think people wouldn't care. And that's when Patrick Stewart thought, I've joined a good crew here.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's a good reply. Have you ever seen that Patrick Stewart and James Corden spaff?
Can't stand James.
I don't like James Corden either, but if you watch that, you would wonder what the hell's wrong with Patrick Stewart.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I don't want to watch it then.
Don't then.
What's he come across a bit of a tool?
Yeah, really bad, yeah. Really, really weird scenario.
Oh, God.
But I can imagine James Corden in the green room might rub you up the wrong way.
Yeah, well, they say never meet your heroes. Although I met William Shatner, the other captain, obviously.
And he was cool.
And he was really cool. George Takei, he was
I don't know
super
if I've
cool.
met any of my heroes.
Oh, Richard Attenborough. Well, I met him, but unfortunately I was really pissed, but he was cool.
Like, but proper heroes. Like, who are my proper
I'd be
heroes?
too scared, in case they did turn out to be dicks.
Yeah.
Like there's quite a really successful entrepreneur who met him. He turned out to be a bit of a cock, but yeah, it happens. People might think we're cocks.
I'm sure they do.
Especially those jokes we started off with.
Nothing wrong with Douglas.
Not as good as Justin.
Or just incredible.
No, that's just piggybacking on mine.
It was good though.
Was he a really shit wrestler?
Yeah. I don't think he was. I just think he was crap once he came over to the mainstream. I think he was big on the indie circuit.
Christopher Daniels. Is he another one?
Yeah, he's good too, isn't he?
I'm trying to think. Now, that was sort of when I sort of stopped following the wrestling. Really, I'm firmly back in the early '90s now. The Flair.
You're a WCW
Sting,
man.
Steiner Brothers, WCW, yeah. But then I got into when is the Raw era?
The Attitude Era.
Attitude era, was it 96?
96 to 2000.
So when Triple H came back in 2002, for me, that's when it just really, really peaked. But then they merged with WCW and it all went downhill, I think, really. But it seems to have made a massive resurgence.
So if you wanted a really, really good example of the past framework, and I'm not joking, watch wrestling from the late 90s. The storytelling there of heels versus good guys, problems, getting agitated and then solved, and then the crowd roars at the solution. That is literally how they run their business.
Wrestling, Star Trek. So it's just the cornerstones of marketing.
Yeah, all storytelling is past framework. You watch a Disney film, something bad happens, the problem gets worse, and then the hero saves the day. Ending. Marvel films, comic books, all the past framework.
Like that Ogilvy podcast we had, that the solution was made very clear years and years ago.
It's a really depressing thing to realise that most films you watch, you come out of the film feeling good because you're relieved that the problem got resolved. There's very few films you watch where you come out going, well, they told us something nice was going to happen, and then it did, because that would be a shit film.
It's a really good way of looking at it. Yeah, I never thought of that. But yeah, because I do like a happy. I don't like depressing endings.
Yeah, what did we watch at the weekend that was
depressing
well?
but awesome?
Yeah, Time was depressing but awesome.
This is the teacher in prison, isn't it?
Yeah, depressing but not that depressing.
Stephen Graham's pretty much always in depressing but excellent.
Yeah, you will enjoy it. It's good, but
we caught up on the latest Fear the Walking Dead last night, and that's losing its way a bit, like The Walking Dead, because it started off like awesome. We're on season 6 now, and it's maybe I'm just zombie overkill. Although I did like Army of the Dead, and you didn't, did you?
No, just like watching a music video. I thought, not a lot to it, but maybe that was the point.
Yeah, Dave Bautista killing zombies. I mean, does it get any better?
Could have been The Rock.
Well, he was Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Right, what are we talking about?
Past framework.
Oh, right, okay.
What's the summary?
Watch the wrestling and Star Trek. Think about what are the pain points. Think about the if word. One word you take away from this podcast, apart from Justin, is if. What if? Imagine if. And you put yourself in your customer's shoes and identify those problems, challenges, pains they have, and you offer the solutions. That'll work a lot better for you than features and benefits.
Yeah, stop listing your features.